When you think of Japanese horror, you may picture a creepy girl wearing a white dress with long black hair covering her face. While this image does have its roots in Japanese folklore, specifically the yurei, or vengeful ghost, it is limiting. Japanese horror has a rich tradition that goes well beyond the popular trope so pervasive in the US horror movie fad from a decade ago. You need only look at a shelf of horror manga to see that variety in action. But like other manga genres, it can be difficult to figure out where to start. Thankfully, there are many kinds of horror manga out there, ranging from action horror to downright disturbing I can't go to sleep at night horror, so I firmly believe there's something out there for everyone. Here, I've collected 10 titles that you should give a try if you're interested in reading a horror manga, whether you're new to the genre or even if you're a bit of scaredy-cat. No shame in that. And if you're well versed in your horror manga series, maybe you'll find something new to you. Number 10. The Drifting Classroom. 6th grader Shu Takamatsu is a troublemaker who refuses to grow up. However, one fateful day, his world is turned upside down, forcing him to quickly mature, or die. When Shu arrives at school that morning, an earthquake of mysterious origin strikes, and the campus is teleported to an empty wasteland, far removed from society. Not only do Shu and his peers face an immediate crisis of food shortage, they must also contend with other problems, including new and dangerous external threats, and rising conflict among the student body. With the adults having a hard time adjusting, Shu finds the immense responsibility to quickly adapt to his new dystopian reality a heavy burden on his small shoulders. Written by the horror specialist Kazuo Umezu, Yu Kyushitsu is regarded as a classic in its genre, a unique blend of the riveting mystery behind the entrapment of Shu and his classmates on the barren, hostile world, and their struggle for survival. Number 9. Domu. Before he penned the seminal science fiction manga Akira, Otomo wrote this single-volume horror manga about an apartment complex plagued by a series of apparent suicides. But when investigators begin looking into the case, they discover something more sinister going on, specifically a senile old man with monstrous psychic powers who has turned the housing complex into his own personal playground. What can regular investigators do against that? Nothing, as it turns out. But that changes when a new family moves into the complex, including a little girl with psychic powers of her own. Domu is currently out of print, but I highly recommend tracking it down if you can. It's worth the effort. Number 8. Parasite. Parasite is an alien invasion story gone awry. In this manga, the aliens are parasites, worm-like creatures that take over human hosts by entering their brains. Thankfully, this process is not foolproof. High school student Shinichi wakes up while an alien is attempting to take over his brain. The interruption causes the parasite to take over his arm instead. Now Shinichi must learn to coexist with the alien invader in his hand while protecting the human race from other parasites and keeping the source of his new abilities a secret. Sounds like a tall order, if you ask me. Number 7. Higurashi. Higurashi When They Cry is a Japanese visual novel series. If you've played last summer's hit game, Dream Daddy, then you have an idea about this specific format. The manga adaptation features different artists over the course of the series, which is why I've only listed the writer here. Higurashi is a series that's better when you go in not knowing anything about it, so I'll keep it brief. Higurashi is about a seemingly peaceful rural village where an annual festival dedicated to a local god takes place. Unfortunately, a murder has occurred every year at this festival. A boy who recently moved to this village finds himself delving into the mystery. Number 6. Doubt. Have you ever played Mafia? It's fun, right? Now imagine if you played a real-life version. Not so fun anymore. Doubt is about a cell phone game called Rabbit Doubt. The rules are simple. The rabbits must find the wolf, aka the killer, hiding among their group before they're all dead. The characters of Doubt, however, find themselves playing the real-life version when they're trapped in a building. Number 5. Frank and Fran. Want more humor in your horror? Frank and Fran may be more up your alley, provided you like your humor black and dark. The titular Fran is a girl who was created by a brilliant surgeon. Get it? Frank and Fran? While the doctor's name isn't Frankenstein, the parallels are obvious. Fran follows in her creator's footsteps, taking on his cases while he's away, often with gruesome results. If you like your manga episodic with fewer sprawling plots, this is one to check out. Number 4. I Am a Hero. Wondering where the zombies are? Well, I don't think zombies are the only notable monster in horror, just like I don't think yurei are the only significant figures in Japanese horror. Even so, I do think there should be a zombie story on a list of horror manga. I Am a Hero is about a manga assistant named Hideo who considers himself a supporting character in his own life. Kind of depressing, right? His outlook changes in a major way when a disease outbreak causes people to attack and eat other people. What follows is a survival story as Hideo and his trusty shotgun struggle to stay alive. Number 3, Ajin, Demi-Human. Imagine being hit by a truck and then discovering you can't die. That's what Kei learns in Ajin. In this manga, immortal people, or Ajin, are wanted by the government because they're considered dangerous when they mingle with the general population. Alas, the government also wants to experiment on them, often in horrifying ways. As a result, Ajins who have been captured by the government want to escape and, if they succeed, become very determined to seek revenge. You reap what you sow and all that. Kei wants no part of this but finds himself drawn into the conflict anyway when one escaped Ajin named Sato begins a violent campaign to rule Japan. Number 2, Happiness. If there's a monster more iconic to the horror genre than zombies, it's the vampire. In Happiness, a regular high school student is attacked by a vampire girl. The girl, however, doesn't kill him. She gives him the option of becoming like a vampire like her. Ashimi is a master of creating psychological dread in his works, and Happiness is no different. Number 1, Uzumaki. No horror manga list would be complete without the master himself, Junji Ito. In fact, you could make a list dedicated solely to Junji Ito's works. His entire catalog is vast and brilliant. It was difficult to choose one title, but I ultimately settled on Uzumaki because if there's one Junji Ito series you must read, it's this one. Uzumaki tells the story of a town plagued with a supernatural curse involving spirals. If you like the atmospheric terror of Lovecraft's works, without the rampant racism, Uzumaki is the horror manga for you. So, there you have it. 10 horror manga that will terrify you for your lifetime. And, that's been it. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.